Welcome to Zita the Space Girl, another childhood classic straight off the shelf from your local elementary school library. But Zita isn't a space girl yet. Instead, she's bullying this nerd named Joseph. You see, Zita stole his notebook, but ends up stopping straight in her tracks when she finds a big asteroid crater. Without a second thought, she jumps in and finds a big red button gizmo that was in the asteroid. Zita's all like, "I'ma push the button," and Joseph's all like, what the freak, no. So Zita doesn't listen to Joseph because we all know you should never listen to a nerd. And nothing happens. So she starts spamming the button, and a big portal appears, and a bunch of tentacles come out and suck Joseph into it. Zita runs away in fear, contemplates her life decisions for a moment, and then goes on to spam the button again to follow Joseph into another world. That's right, baby. Another childhood isekai comic. Let's go, baby. That's what it's all about. Zita is strung into a fruit roll-up as she falls through the portal and lands on the other end, which turns out to be a bustling alien city. After screaming for like 10 seconds, she gets up and walks through the town. She starts calling out for Joseph, but instead runs into a reverse Mike Wazowski, who is selling tickets off-world, saying that there's only 3 days left. Whatever could he mean? Foreshadowing, perhaps? The alien guy pushes Zita aside because she's a brokey, and that's when she spots Joseph. He's getting kidnapped by a diving helmet with scribbly tentacles. She tries to race after him, but instead gets violated by a giant snail. When she gets back up, it's already too late. Oh, and look, it seems that she's dropped her red button thing, which is her only way back home off this forsaken planet. Oh, and it's broken now. So Zita climbs on top of the big potato man who broke her button thing and stares sadly as the ship flies off with Joseph. Afterwards, she evaluates the damage of her teleporter and almost gets shot by a nearby scuffle of two aliens, but is rescued by the potato man, whose real name is Strong. Yeah, you're gonna realize real quick that the only original name in this story is Zita's. Strong takes Zita to an alleyway where she's safe from the crowd, and hands her the pieces of her teleporter. Then he gets harassed by his boss to go back to work. The mean boss man starts shouting at Zita for distracting Strong, so she runs off. Later, we see her crying in the back of the alley, surrounded by a bunch of pipes. That's when two sock puppet-looking critters pop out of the pipes and try to cheer her up, since they're in charge of making sure there's no leaks or dripping in the pipes. But instead, they just make her scared by revealing that in 3 days, an asteroid's gonna hit the planet, and they're all gonna die. Nice going, Jerry. Zita then finds herself in the slums of the city, where she sees some scam artists making a chicken person jacked with a fancy innator. Bro's about to get paid, but then the effects of the innator wear off, and he gets pummeled by the unhappy customers. Zita tries to help him, but instead the chickens start attacking her. But not before the scam artist pulls out a magical flute and makes everyone dance. Then they all pass out, and Mr. Dorito Chin takes Zita inside his house, which is also a spaceship. When Zita wakes up, she finds a new set of clothes waiting for her with a note signed Piper, aka the Dorito Chin guy. She then changes and is introduced to a giant mouse who tells her to get on with a receipt printer that's strapped to his neck. She gets on its back and is brought to Piper in the main part of the house. There she learns that the giant mouse's name is Pizzicato, but everyone just calls him Mouse. Also, Piper is an inventor and a collector of vintage items, like these big shoes. Ooh, I wonder what they do. Well, it seems they, stomp. You got them J's. Piper is also trying to repair Zita's red button and ends up finding an extremely rare jump crystal in the process that was being used as the device's power source. Piper says he can fix the teleporter in time for all three of them to get off the planet before it's hit by the asteroid. But Zita explains that she came here to find Joseph, so until she does, they're not going anywhere. So Piper has Zita explain the alien that captured Joseph so they know what they're up against. They discover that the alien is a screed, which is very dangerous and most likely working as a bounty hunter. It seems Joseph has been captured by the Scriptorians, who are the planet's first inhabitants. Instead of rushing off the planet like everyone else to escape the asteroid, they all lock themselves up in their castle, with the Screed running all their errands for them. So in order to save Joseph, Piper steals the key to a maintenance tunnel from the sock puppet Jerry, and sends Zita into the tunnel to find Joseph. The tunnel leads to the end of town, where she can travel through the rusted waste and right to the castle. That's when Piper says, "Peace out, scrubs," and tells tells her he'll catch up with her later. So Mouse and Zita make their way out of the tunnel and into a field. On their journey, they find a sentient red ball that's been bolted into the ground and being whipped by a bunch of blue odd ones outs. Zita scares off the little whippersnappers and then learns that this red orb is actually a heavily armored mobile battle orb. So basically a killer robot, and his name is One. One explains that he used to work for the Scriptorians until they asked him to capture Joseph. When he said no, they bolted him in the ground. So Zita frees One so that they can work together to save Joseph, and so One can get his glorious combat. They make their way to the rusted waste, where One starts explaining some lore. I've never seen a junkyard like this before. It used to be a city. What happened? Are you sure you want to know? The Scriptorians destroyed it. In an effort to destroy the asteroid, they built a weapon of unfathomable power, but they could not control it, and it destroyed this place. And that's why they're holed up in a castle? Yes. Now they have the fool idea that they can atone for their mistakes by sacrificing your friend. But they didn't count on you nobly plunging through the portal to save him. It wasn't like that, One. But what about the weapon? Lost. Probably buried deep within these ruins. But don't worry, I'm sure there are other dangers in this waste. Then they set up camp for the night and sleep as One keeps watch through the night. The next day, they continue their journey and come across a clumsy robot that has a rusted out leg. Zita helps out the anxious guy by giving him new legs, and he joins the crew. Oh, also his name is Randy, by the way. But Randy's new legs kinda suck. They definitely need some WD-40 or something because they won't stop squeaking! All the squeaking gives away their location to a bunch of robot spiders that attack them and bite the Iron Mouse. Randy gets tipped over, and One tries to shoot the spider, but his gun jams. Until it doesn't. When it does fire, he gets shot backwards into a pile of junk, and Zita begins to make a run for it. While she's running, she runs right into Piper, who just caught up in the nick of time. He also brought the mega stompy boots from earlier, so Zita rushes back to the others and saves them with her new item equipped. Then they finally make their way to the castle, where Piper explains how difficult it will be to rescue Joseph. He says they're better off just leaving now, with her teleporter that he repaired. You see, the device is set to only work when Zita presses the button. Zita is contemplating pressing it, when the button gets shot out of her hand by the screed. Meanwhile, the others are talking about cooking for some reason. You see, the secret is to saute the vegetables in advance. Another little stepping stone on the road to majesty.
Majesty makes me shake.
Zita? Hand over the girl. Destroying that device was not a part of our agreement. Agreement? Piper, what does he mean? I'm sorry, Zita. Walk away while you can, Mistral. You will find your ship fueled. Do not struggle, human child. Not so fast. Don't worry, Zita. I will protect you. Well. If it isn't little One. 5? 8? I never thought he'd escape that trap.
Should've smashed him.
I bet he needs that skinny little earth creature to help him. Flimsy prototype should know enough to make way for upgrades. Enough! I'll handle this, 8. Was that supposed to hurt? Not that. These. Uh-oh. Barnacle bombs!
Zita? One? My friends. Nobody hurts my friends.
Time to do your part, 8. You're an artist. You! I trusted you, you slimy traitor! So what do you want to bet I can drill right through his optics? Leave it. We have what we came for. So they got captured and taken into the castle, where they pass by Joseph, who's chained to a big rock and being wheeled around on a wooden trailer. Then Zita and Piper get locked up. Meanwhile, outside, One and Randy are being repaired by little space bugs. Back inside, Piper knocks out the guard with his magical flute and uses door paste to make a Beetlejuice-looking door exit for them to escape. So did, none of the guards check what they had on them? I feel like all of Piper's stuff would have been taken, but Whatever. Outside the castle, a teeny door forms, and they both climb out to safety. Well, except for Piper, who everyone hates now since he betrayed them. So the team reconvenes and leaves Piper behind to save Joseph. They get to the front gate, but it's swarming with guards. One plans to use a frontal assault when Zita spots Strong from earlier. He's transporting cargo into the castle for his boss. That's when Zita has an idea. They tie up the floating boss guy and dress up as him to sneak into the castle. It works, but my only question is, where did Zita get the fake beard? Just as I thought. Transporting robots and livestock together is a violation. Looks like I'll have to write you up for multiple infractions. I'll need your... The jig is up, so they race around the castle looking for Joseph. They question a guard and learn that Joseph is in some ceremonial chamber area that is being guarded by 5 and 8 from earlier. So Strong and 1 go in and fight them, while Mouse, Randy, and Zita sneak into the elevator to the ceremonial chamber. Mouse snaps the elevator cord, and they drop into the chamber, where they find Joseph tied up. It seems the Scriptorians think Joseph has some kind of Chosen One superpower that will save them from the coming asteroid. But Zita has a bigger problem at the moment, like the fact that the freaky deaky tentacle screed is back and slunking up behind her. Back upstairs, 1 is getting destroyed by orb number 5. His gun is broken, and he's about to get chomped by Robo Pac-Man, but Strong saves him, and they blow up the evil balls. Pause. But 1 isn't looking good, and if it wasn't bad enough, a bunch of guards show up. Back to Zita, she's being manhandled by the Screed, which makes Robot Randy angry. And it looks like he's about to go Super Saiyan or something. While all of this is happening, the Scriptorians are talking about how Joseph is supposed to shoot some mystical energy out of his chest according to their alien Bible. But Zita's still getting freaked by the Screed. But then Piper shows up and throws her the door paste from earlier, which she uses to pull out the diving helmet's innards, stopping the Screed. And a little bug comes out of the helmet, so the Screed was just like a beetle this whole time? Kinda reminds me of that bug from Bone. After that, Piper and Zita make up, but then Randy reveals something truly unexpected.
Something I didn't tell you before. About the weapon that destroyed the city. It's me. I was afraid if I told you, you'd leave me behind, alone. I thought I could control the weapon inside me. But when I saw you in danger, it powered up on its own. I can't stop it.
You see, the process has begun. Amazing. So bright. You're doing fine, just as the scroll foretold.
What are you talking about? I'm not doing anything!
So, we're caught between a malfunctioning ultimate weapon and a doomsday asteroid. Even if we were on my ship, there's no way we could launch in time.
So this is the end?
For us, yes. Maybe not for you. Not many people escape the end of the world. Go. Save your friend.
I won't forget you, Piper.
There it is. My missing piece.
Missing piece? Missing piece? Of course! Robot Randy's weapon system must rely on hazard point energy. The same energy the jump crystal draws on. They use the crystal as a focusing device. Brilliant! We just replace the crystal, point him towards the asteroid, and...
Ah!
Zita, the crystal, the blast will destroy it. You won't be able to go home. Oh, man. Hooray! The day is saved, and Zita wakes up in the castle with the rest of her friends, including Joseph. After the asteroid was destroyed, the Scriptorians became friends with Zita and the gang, since they're friends of Joseph. And they also want to make Joseph their king. But Joseph ain't all about that royal life stuff. Instead, he just wants to go home. So Piper rigs up the remaining shard of the jump crystal to the teleporter, so they can finally make a new portal to go home. They press the button and jump into the portal, but the crystal shard breaks, causing only Joseph to get through. Now Zita is left stuck here, on the other world, permanently. But somehow, she's surprisingly chill about it. Your ship's all fueled up now, right? Yes, but... Then what are we waiting for? I'll just have to take the long way home. In my ship? Hey, wait! Hold on just a minute! The end! I hope you enjoyed, and if you want more Zita content in the future, consider liking and subscribing to motivate me to make more. college is actually gonna cook me this semester, so I need the motivation. Alright then, I'll see you next time.